Welcome to another episode of the Blue-Lusional podcast, Chat GRC, where Casey and myself interview a new grassroots candidate every single week. This week, we called a big fish, talking to someone that we've been watching for a little bit, and now we're face to face. So, sir, please introduce yourself. Tell us why you're here.
I thank you both so much for having me. My name is David Clayton. I'm running as an unaffiliated independent in North Carolina's District 5, challenging 82-year-old Virginia Fox. I'm running as an independent due to gerrymandering, because a Dem ticket due to gerrymandering has no path to victory. So I've got to earn over the Republican vote and the unaffiliated vote and put forth legislation and solutions that help all Americans, because that is at the core of my campaign. I'm not blue or nothing. I'm not red or nothing. We need to get back to the red, white, and blue. Yes. So that's my goal, is to call out the corruption, get us away from this party line bias that has stagnated governance, and get back to actually helping the American public.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Love
yeah.
That.
Yes.
Love
and
that.
You guys might know him if you're on TikTok and you're scrolling. You might hear that I'm not MAGA. Please don't scroll. So that is David. So
That's
not
him.
only
That's
does
this
he
guy.
create content, but he was like, I'm going to also run for office and help fix this. And he is in a unique situation because every state has different rules and regulations when it comes to running as an independent. So David actually can run as an independent. And a lot of people might say like, oh, my state doesn't let independents, if you don't have a party affiliation, you don't get to vote in primaries in certain states. And that's not the case here. So this is a really actually fun one, because usually that's not the case.
Now, I do have to collect enough signatures, 10,000 plus, to get on the ballot. That's the only thing. Right. But you're right. There are a lot of states that, especially in the primaries, have a closed caucus where you can only vote the way you are registered. Some states have an open caucus where you're allowed to cross party lines and register. But, like I said, and especially in a state like my state, North Carolina, we are at an unprecedented time where we are seeing nationwide unprecedented numbers of people leaving either the Republican Party or the Democrat Party and registering as unaffiliated, or some states call it no affiliated, because people are sick and tired of the same old song and dance where nothing is getting done. Every party's pointing a finger at what they allege the problem is, and then behind that finger, there's no solutions backing it up, and people are tired of that.
Mm-hmm. They are. And so this is a great example. So make sure, before we even start, make sure you check out your state and see if that's the case. Because if that's the case, maybe think twice before this election about going unaffiliated, if that means you can't vote in this primary. But we have seen you online. We've seen you've been creating content for a long time. So what inspired you to say, I'm going to run? I'm gonna handle this?
Yeah, frustration, plain and simple. I was living a decent life, a self-centric life, an apathetic life, and I saw problems around me, specifically because I'm not a veteran, but my family served. And on my way to work every day, or on the way to happy hour, I would always see homeless veterans. And I got so sick and tired of seeing it, especially when it's just like reinforced our nation of, thank you for your service, love our veterans, thank you for your service. And it's just like these are just feckless words anymore. They're marketing slogans that don't actually do anything. So I kind of had a moment of clarity. I broke down. I sold off everything I owned. I comprised what I call the Character by Integrity Act to house homeless veterans. And I had a mission of packing up the little bit I've got, my dog, and just driving the nation, just saying adios to the self-centric, apathetic life, and driving over to DC to lobby for my Character by Integrity Act. When I got there, it was crickets. It was every single member of Congress. At the time, it was during Trump's first term in 2017, saying, yeah, the representative really supports our vets. Our representative really loves our vets, blah, blah, blah. And that's where it starts and stops. That's all they do. So after 2 weeks lobbying the Longworth building, I looked at my dog and I was like, screw this. Took our savings that we had built up and just started crisscrossing the country 7 times, crisscrossed 33 states, 310 homeless veterans, 312 homeless veterans. We've passed out survival gear to, be it tents, be it hand warmers, foot warmers, ponchos for the rainy seasons, hurricane seasons down in the Keys, things of that nature. fishing poles, so many fishing poles we passed out. And I got these ViperTech little tiny tasers that I passed out to women. I didn't want to be passing out any lethals like knives and things
Yeah.
like that, especially when they can be easily taken away and used against the person trying to protect themselves. But there's a whole lot of single moms and single women that are homeless. So I passed out about 30 of those tasers.
Good shit.
Yeah. I just, I did it off of my own dime until I ran out of my own dime. And then I started crowdfunding for it, or I started picking up work at random places. I managed a family pirate boat thing in Lewis, Delaware. I power washed a lady's house and backyard in Minnesota. Yeah. I mean, I've painted a house in Florida. I mean, I was just picking up jobs anywhere I could to be able to keep going and buy more, Coleman ponchos, throwaway ponchos, or anything I could get my hands on to pass them out. And then my mom fell ill, and I was about 2 years later, and I had to go back and help her out. And at that point, I was just like, started making content, started putting out a message that a lot of people could relate to. And people were like, you know what? We need someone that is rational thinking, that says it like it is, doesn't do the walking around a simple question 80 different ways and answer stuff straight to run for office. And that's where I started looking into it and saying, well, I know if Trump gets in a second term, that there's going to be his loyalists, and Trump is going to do what he's doing today, which is crashing the economy and this one big, beautiful bill, tax relief for the rich and people losing their health care. I knew it was going to happen. So I wanted to see who was one, an octogenarian, because people are tired of seeing our elderly be representatives in Congress when they should be retired, and two, who would be a loyalist, who would support Trump no matter what. And I landed on one of the states I passed through because I'm an adopted son of North Carolina. I wasn't born here. Like, I'm from California. Prettiest state I came across my travels, and prettiest state plus an octogenarian named Virginia Fox, who's been in office for 20 years and hasn't done a single thing from North Carolina. I was like, that's where I'm going to. So
Nice.
I moved out here. I made this place my destination. I've been campaigning ever since, and doing little things like anytime I walk my dog, I take a trash bag with me and I pick up trash on the side of the road, because I'm just one of those people that, like, if it comes to the homeless veterans, or it comes to anything, it comes to a woman being dragged out of town hall by her hair, I can't just stand up and film it and look at it. I got to get my body in between the aggressor and the person being harmed, or I got to pick up the trash on the side of the road if I'm seeing it and I'm walking my dog by it every day. There's too many people that just look at a problem, point it out, call it out, especially our representatives today, but don't actually do a damn thing about it. And I think we're all sick and tired of seeing these reps work as little as possible and reap the most amount of reward.
Yep.
Literally, they work as little as possible.
87 days.
Yep.
87 days. This year.
I wish. Well, you're pretty much a real life good Samaritan, and you would pretty much fit the role perfectly. So that leads pretty good into the next question. We ask this question every week because everybody doesn't know what's going on. What does a congressperson do, and how would you be able to use your influence at the local level?
So Congress controls the power of the purse, first and foremost. They're not just the overseers of the national budget and how the budget is appropriately spent through appropriations in these matters, but they're also lawmakers. They write laws. And we need a lot of laws that should have already been on the books today. Like, a felon can't run for president, or if bring back some fairness to the everyday American being able to run for office. Why is it today we've got people worth $10 million, $50 million, $500 million, $1 billion asking the everyday American for money for donations? Donald Trump is on an email splurge right now, asking people for money, and he's made $6.3 billion in 11 months. For once in his life, he is actually a billionaire. I know he always claimed that, but for once in his life, he actually is. So why is he sending emails asking everyday Americans for money? Why aren't any of these members of Congress? And it's on both sides of the aisle. Nancy Pelosi, $250 million, Rick Scott, $500 million in Florida. So why are these people worth millions and millions of dollars asking the everyday American for money? So one of the laws we need in place to kind of root out this ongoing career corruption politician status quo is if you are worth over XYZ, let's say $10 million, then you're responsible for 75% of your campaign's own funding.
I
And
think that's
up
more
until
than
you
fair.
reach that 75%, you have to match every donation penny for penny out of your own pennies.
Mhm.
And you will see a lot of these people not want to spend their own money and retire and leave and make way for younger generations to run for
Mhm.
office.
So it should be.
You know, character by integrity. Why have lawmakers so long? We've got a $950 billion, $987 billion defense budget, and we're still arguing about homeless veterans, whether they deserve it or not. Is it a handout or an entitlement? We're taking away staff and benefits from the VA from those who have served. Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, always under attack.
Mm.
Always under attack. Why hasn't there been laws in place 10, 20, 30 years ago securing these things so that
Mhm.
either party, now we all know it's one party just going after it, but I'll just be non-biased here and say, why don't
You're
we
not
have
wrong.
why don't we have laws in place that state either party can't touch it in Congress?
What were they doing?
The American people pay into it. So why does it seem like it's just an open free-for-all petty cash jar that Congress can dip into whenever that they damn well want? Why?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a tip jar.
And I've got a solution to keep their grubby little hands out of that too. I call it a Budget Accountability Act. If you want to make tax cuts for your rich buddies that obviously are so desperate for tax cuts because they're just not rich enough, you're free to do so. You're corrupt as hell. Obviously, you don't represent the people. You represent your rich buddies, but you're free to do so. But in order to do that, you need to make cuts. Keep your damn filthy hands out of things the American public is paid into, and instead make cuts to government departments that can't pass audits, like the Pentagon budget, like the DoD
They just failed
budget,
last week.
like
Mhm.
NHS budget, or DHS, not NHS. DHS can't
Yeah.
pass an audit. Pentagon can't pass an audit. DoD can't pass an audit. So why are those things not on the chopping block? But everything else that does routinely pass audits, like Medicare, like Medicaid, like Social Security, because they have to pass audits to be functional and keep going.
Snap.
Yep.
Why are they on the cutting block first? So there are things, long-term solutions that should have been in place decades ago. And you know, I'll call a spade. I put a lot of blame on the Democrat establishment party leadership for not putting those things in place when they did hold a majority over the course
Yes.
of the decades.
So
So
do we.
don't sit here and tell me that everything is the right's fault when you get into power and you don't do a damn thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Yes.
that's a big thing we do too. We like to put blame where it needs to be, not just, well, it's them. They're the ones in power. No, we have people on our side that are not and haven't been doing their job for years.
Years.
They need to be called out.
And profiting while
Yes.
not doing their
Profiting.
job.
Mhm.
And both sides are absolutely guilty of it. I was speaking to my friend Frances Fisher the other night. She's such a sweetheart. She's a supporter of mine. And it's so funny because she was the mother. She was Kate Winslet's mother in the Titanic, the movie. She was the one that was like kind of stern and was like, you know, we're broke. You have to marry this asshole, whatever. She was like her character was kind of a quasi evil rich character.
Yeah.
And I hated her, but in real life, she's the sweetest person in the world.
That's great.
But yeah, totally side ramble there. But I was talking to her yesterday, and I was saying that it's on both sides of the aisle where both sides points a finger at the other, and no one creates any actual solutions, even though they're always blaming one side or the other. And I call it the Red Cross paradox, where the Red Cross brings in the most amount of donations during a disaster, not preventative maintenance prior to a disaster, and not in repair and recovery after a disaster, but smack dab in the middle of a disaster. So when I see people like Cory Booker breaking records for 25 hours, not filibustering any proposed law or legislation, but literally just up there speaking about anything for no
just yapping
end goal. He raised the most amount of money there. Nancy Pelosi's been guilty of it forever. People like Mitch McConnell, obviously, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz. God, that guy's such an idiot. I mean, it is a problem on both sides of the aisle where it's almost like they encourage a disaster scenario because they know they're going to be able to rake in tons of fundraising money.
Yep.
And when your governance is dominated, your time management is dominance by fundraising over actual governance, there's a problem in the system.
Absolutely. That's why
Yep.
you see so many people that are changing the way they're registered to vote, their party, and they're going independent or no affiliation, because so many people after this last election and even in just this past year have been like, it is an issue on both sides.
Yeah.
I cannot tie myself to either party anymore. I don't even understand what's going on. And like even people in my family are like, I don't even see myself as a Democrat anymore if this is how we're going to operate. And I can't even argue it because I get
Yeah.
it. I get it. At
And
some point.
here's the thing for the hardcore Dems that are coming after me because I'm not running with a D next to my name. One, do you want to win? Because I'm pretty sure I've been really getting a lot of pressure lately as well. If you're so confident you're the right man for the job, run on the Democrat primary. It's like I'm pretty confident I could win that, but then I'd lose the general election. So what does that accomplish?
Mhm.
Just because I got a D next to my name? And here's the thing:
They're
you can run,
scared.
you can run as an unaffiliated independent and caucus with Dem policies.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am, which should be pretty typical amongst everyone, but our country is so divided. You have to be one side or another. I am a fiscally conservative progressive because progressive policies actually are fiscally conservative down the road.
Yes.
They actually do give back
Yes.
more to the American public and lower the overall taxes paid out by everyone. So this whole demonizing the word progressive or demonizing the word fiscally progressive like it's
It's
blue or
weird.
red is nonsense.
Mhm.
We need a good sized wedge on that chart in the Congress map of independence where both
Yeah.
sides are forced to go to the middle to levy and make their case as to why I should support their legislation.
Yep.
Because it shouldn't
Yeah.
just be this, we've got enough Dem votes, we've got enough Republican votes.
No, it should be about policy.
It should
truthfully,
be
and
about
legislation.
policy and
Mhm.
people. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what my campaign is focusing on. It's 100%
Yeah.
policy and people. If a Republican representative puts forth a piece of legislation that is actually good for the American public, I would support it.
Why not?
I would
Mhm.
support it.
Right?
I have yet to see a Republican
Yeah.
representative put forth, or let me be more specific, a MAGA Republican representative put forth
Yeah.
any legislation
Yeah.
that actually helps the public. But if it does happen, I would absolutely support it because well, no, you can't go to that side. You have to be on our team thing. This is what has led us to where we are today, and nothing is getting done.
Mm-hmm. Super weird.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, you are an experienced traveler. You've been to, like you said, like over 30 states just in the past couple of years, back and forth, back and forth. But we're asking everyone about the state that they're representing. And as somebody who's traveled around, you know how these other states have been affected, but we want to know, how have the constituents in the district you're hoping to represent been affected by this administration, and how are you hoping to protect them?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing the negative impacts already with healthcare premiums starting to skyrocket. 66,000 North Carolinians in my district alone are going to be kicked off of Medicare.
Hmm.
Jeez.
And then Trump, for the second time this year, denied our state's additional FEMA funding
Yeah.
for repair and recovery for Western North Carolina and Hurricane Helene. If you remember, Donald Trump and the whole MAGAsphere made a big hubbub about Biden not helping enough for Hurricane Helene. Well, Donald Trump has now denied FEMA funding for repair and recovery for the second time this year, and it'll continue to go denied into next year. And the representative I'm challenging, Virginia Fox, supports his decision without any question or hesitation or argument. She does not care what happens to the constituents here. The constituents here they're all workers. They all work their butts off here nonstop. The people here are workers. They're not being paid a fair wage. The corporations are taking advantage of all of them, either extending their hours and giving them less pay or cutting off their total hours so that they don't get that overtime pay on purpose and restricting what benefits the companies then have to pay out. The corporations are out of control all across the country. It's not obviously not just North Carolina, but North Carolina focused. These towns need help. The city workers and the unions need support and reinforcement. The municipality workers in my town alone, they've cut the staff by half. So they're having to double up their work routes on trash and utilities. And they're sending them out on days like Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve. I mean, like Thanksgiving, the guys came out here and I gave them all some Rockstar energy drinks. I was like, this is bullshit. You guys shouldn't be working today. But yeah, the people, my state is is the only state to date that hasn't. It's not even passed a budget for the year yet, and the year's over. Yeah, but we still haven't passed a budget. It's a Republican majority, and they cannot pass.
Yeah. No.
So there's serious problems going on all over the country, and it's all symptoms of one bigger problem. It seems that those that have been able to be legally bought by way of things like Citizens United are taking that payday and they're not looking back. They're going full steam ahead. We do not have representatives. We have a clergy of people addicted to greed.
Yep.
It's truly become their own church. And like I said, that's not even a party partisan thing. There's just too many people that have been consumed by greed at the cost of the hardworking innocent. Things need to be done about it. I mean, I proudly stayed on some of my posts, eat the rich, but I also back that up. And I remind the rich that feel untouchable right now that there is nothing more dangerous in this world than someone with nothing left to lose.
Yep.
And they are creating millions upon millions of people with nothing left to lose.
Yeah.
Largest wealth gap we've ever seen.
Yeah.
We've witnessed that a lot this year.
Largest wealth gap we have ever seen. Their time is coming, but I wanted to ask about this. You mentioned the Character Through Integrity Act earlier. Can you tell us more about that?
So it's a sweat equity program. Well, one of the things we have an abundance of is vacant properties sitting, degrading in value, adding to crime rates because of squatter boxes and drug use. And so what this does is basically, because no one will do anything for free, they have to have some kind of, well, I'll do it, but what's in it for me kind of mentality anymore, unfortunately. So what it does is it basically incentivizes the property owners, be it banks that owns large swaths of properties from the 2008 foreclosures, or it be scumbag organizations like BlackRock. It incentivizes property owners and says, like, look, if you volunteer your property into this program where we are vetting vets to make sure that they're free of substances, that they maintain a minimum 20-hour work week employment in a grocery store or wherever, they have to just do 20 hours minimum work week. And they're able-bodied to make added physical improvements to your property to fix up your property over that course of the year, then that's exchanged for what would typically be rent. So your property is improving in value, in equity. You're paying respect where you should have been doing from the first place without having to have an incentive program to do it to veterans that have already served for us. And you're decreasing crime rates by fixing up the neighborhood, by having less abandoned properties, less squatter boxes, and less drug debts. So it's really a multi-beneficial, multifaceted program. At its core, obviously, is giving veterans the due that they deserve and get and help. It's not a because of this sweat equity. It's not a handout. Because there's a lot of veterans I ran into across the country that were, if you offered to give them something, they were kind of angry at you. They were like, "No, I'll work for it." They're prideful. They don't necessarily want a handout, but it's a helping hand up. And doing things like a minimum 20-hour work week is helping them reassimilate back into society. So you're taking away the biggest burden monthly, which is rent or mortgage any of us have. You're fixing up the property. You're helping to drop the crime rates in each town. And it works out for encouraging new, younger buyers too. What if you're a college sweetheart duo or something like that, a brand new husband and wife or a partnership, and you're ready to take that next step in life and buy your first property? Well, now you can buy fixer-upper because no one can afford even a basic normal house
Yep.
anymore. So
No.
you can buy a fixer-upper, stay in the apartment or condo you're currently in, and volunteer your new fixer-upper to be worked on in the program. So you're housing a vet, getting them back on their feet, and your fixer-upper is being fixed up. So if you think about new loans and things like this, I mean, this could have an impact across many microeconomies, across the housing landscape of our nation,
Mhm.
as well as, again, paying respect where it's due, first and foremost. So I thought really long and hard about this, and I wrote this backwards from the point of, okay, who is the most tightwad representative that would want to argue it and say, no, we just can't afford it?
Yep.
Well,
Mhm.
guess what? I wrote this backwards where this does not increase any taxes at all. As a matter of fact, it decreases what we're currently paying out yearly over the course of 5 years going on, with more and more involvement and more expansion of the program, where we're currently paying out on average $60,000 per homeless individual per year.
Yeah.
This estimates it would drop it down to roughly $5,000 per homeless individual per year, because you've got less taxes going out towards jail costs, jail administration, hospital costs, hospital administrations, emergency care support services, less need for the people on the street because they're housed now, less taxes going out. So to the most tightwad conservative out there, guess what? I've come up with a way to solve a problem and alleviate your fear of paying more taxes. Because that's all
they're gonna fight you on that one, especially the ones that have BlackRock in their ear.
Mm-hmm.
But see, this is multi-beneficial to them too, because the BlackRock people that are going around buying up properties, they could buy up these fixer-uppers, not pay a dime to fix them up, have them fixed up for them.
Yep.
That'd be too easy.
And their equity goes up, their investment goes up.
Yep.
Screw BlackRock. They shouldn't. No hedge fund should be able to allow it to. I mean, we should have a law that says hedge funds aren't allowed to buy single-family dwelling units. Period.
Yeah.
Because they're really ruining impacting directly the affordability crisis
Yes.
of people being able to afford homes.
Yeah, to drive the price up.
Even for the most stingy, corrupt people like BlackRock, a program like mine, I wrote this specifically of why would them the most evil-hearted, why would them trying to sabotage this? How would sabotaging it benefit them at all? And it would actually harm them by sabotaging it.
Yeah. And how many fixer-uppers or flips? That's what a lot of them like to call it. You buy a home and you flip it. But how many times I've walked into them myself when my husband and I were buying our first home, where you could tell it was lipstick over a pig.
Right.
You know, it was just not done well. It wasn't done with heart. It was just done for turnaround time. And, you know, one house was a smoker house. The whole house smelled of smoke, but it had new paint on it. But you just painted over the smoke walls. Like, it was, you know, you could have a home that somebody like a veteran who knows that they now have a home that they can live in without having to pay rent is going to fix it up with their whole heart in it, to know that they're very grateful. And they are
Well,
going to
I
do
do
a
want to
lot
be
more.
clear on this. I do want to be clear on this, and I'm sorry to interrupt. I do want to be clear on this, though, because that's why I specifically designed it in 1-year blocks. Because the whole point of this is to reassimilate the homeless veteran community back into society. Into everyday life.
Yeah.
And again, starting them out, making sure that they've got a minimum 20-hour work week job. This is a helping hand up. So 1-year blocks, if they need continued help after one year, then they can stay in the program, but they have to go to a different property. That way it doesn't give across any feeling of ownership of the property, because it is somebody else's property that is volunteering it up to the program. So, and that's something, that's why I specifically designed it with 1-year blocks. It's not like a lease to buy program.
Right.
This is specifically a helping hand up program to get them housed immediately and you know, take care of that problem once and for all, instead of, you know, all these charities out there that are raking in millions upon millions of dollars and then only giving back out the federal minimum of 1%. I won't name names, but Wounded Warrior.
We can name names.
Name them.
Name
I'm
'em.
not against it. Spill it.
It's about time we start
We
naming
like to
them.
call people out over here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there are too many charities out there that have. I mean, it's the system isn't well regulated enough. The whole
It's not
tax exempt
regulated at
system
all.
isn't regulated enough. Look at these mega churches that are 100% profit centers that
Talk
aren't
about
taxed
it.
at all.
Mhm.
So, but that rolls over into these, 501c3s and stuff like that, where
Yep.
it's really not that hard to become a 501c3 anymore, just to essentially set up a shell corporation to be able to profit from. So,
Mhm.
just because you're a charity doesn't necessarily mean you're doing charitable work.
Yes. And it's exactly a reason why people should know what a congressperson does, even on a local level, because to use it's on both sides of the aisle. And look at where we are now. If you go onto Zillow, most of these properties on the market are owned by big conglomerate property management companies that are buying up the home and renting it out for, 2 times the amount. And the families are paying it because they have no other choice. And that then you look around and other people are going to do the same thing. And it just turns into craziness. How many Verbos do you see, Airbnbs? And the affordability, the housing market, people can't afford a home anymore. People can't even afford to rent a home because that home is owned by property management companies. So the way we can stop that is to put legislation in place to either stop it, regulate it, lower cost of living, do something. And that is why it is so important to know what your representative is doing on a large level, on your local level, and to go out and vote and to vote wisely.
Yeah, you have to participate. It's not enough. I mean, it's just like the politicians sitting in office that point a finger and say what's wrong, but then don't do anything about it. If you're an American and you have the power to vote and you say, but nothing ever changes and you don't vote, I mean, I'm sorry, but you don't really have any excuse to bitch about how things are if you don't participate in the
Yep.
system.
You're not participating in the change, so how do you expect the change to come?
happen.
You want someone else to do it.
That's how we get
Well,
here.
I hate that this is this way, but screw it, I'm not voting.
Yeah, but I'm not voting because I don't
Well,
think my vote
how do you
matters.
ever expect the thing that you hate to go away and be fixed if you're not putting your name to paper?
Take the half hour out of your day, and instead of
Yeah.
watching whatever you were about to binge, go to the voting booth real quick.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then we've got all these voter suppression laws, and the United States Post Office, I saw a post today, is doing sneaky things where no
Always.
longer, as of Christmas, no longer the second you put your envelope in the mailbox or the drop box, no longer does that count as the day you've mailed it.
Mailed it.
Oh, that's
The
fucked.
post office put out a statement saying they're changing their policy, that there could be a delay from the carrier delivering it to the sorting center. And it's the second that the sorting center scans it, registers it, stamps it, that's when. And that could be days after
Yeah.
you've deposited it in the drop box. So if anyone is mailing like their vote in, they need to make sure to do that a week in advance, not on the day, because this is another sneaky way that they could throw out your vote and say that, well, your vote was received the day after election day, so it's not counted.
They'll do anything but pass legislation.
Yes, anything
fucking
but
tell
that.
ya.
Those that know that they will lose will always make it harder for others to vote.
Yeah, these are their last-ditch efforts, guys. You got to pay attention as we get closer and closer. But I know you had said when we were calling people out the mega churches, so I'm excited to hear your answer on this next question. But you are somebody who wears your faith very proudly. Do you think that there has been a permanent stain left by the church because of this administration and the Christian nationalist supporters that are really backing the MAGA movement?
That's a good question. The way you put it, has there been a stain left? I get a lot of comments. I am a self-professed Christian. I often am snarky and say sincerely an actual Christian, because I welcome all. Anyone in the LGBTQIA, women's rights are human rights. The only one that persecuted other people were actually the Romans persecuting Jesus. So for other people to be persecuting other people, like Hispanic communities, Latina communities, Black communities, women, LGBTQIA, you're not behaving any form of Christ like. You are, in fact, behaving like the Romans. And I want you to sit and let that marinate. We do absolutely, I do believe in a separation of church and state. And I will say this, Christian nationalism is not Christianity. Christian nationalism is the bastardization of Christianity. So no, to answer your question, there is not a stain because of Christianity in the actions of the bastardization of Christianity made by others.
Okay.
I do not believe in the TPUSA and Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk and mega evangelicals and Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth and Christy Nome and all of them weaponizing Christianity for profit, for pay, because that is point blank what it is. I don't believe a single one of them actually believe the words that are coming out of their own damn mouth. It's just to get another paycheck.
Yep.
And that is the bastardization of the Christian religion. I doubt a single one of them. We know for a fact Donald Trump doesn't know a single passage from the Bible, but I doubt a single one of them knows what the actual red words, as that wonderful human being, Jen Hamilton, often quotes. The red
she does Bible study.
Yep. It's amazing to see the hate she gets just from reading the red words. And that tells me, one, our social media is saturated with negative programmed AI chat bot accounts. And we need also law banning all bot accounts from social media because it is a malicious, negative influence campaign against our society. They are foreign funded, they are domestically funded, but we need to kick off all bots altogether. And you will see some of these massive MAGA creators lose 2/3 of their follower base. You'll see the POTUS on TikTok or Instagram lose 3/4 of his follower base. You will see the amount of MAGA Americans not being so easily persuaded day in, day out by AI chatbots commenting to them 24/7, telling them how to think,
brainwashing them.
So that they can go off and then call themselves free thinkers. I saw it with COVID and the anti-vax blow up. I saw it with the big steal. I saw it with QAnon. I saw it with, Marjorie Taylor Greene saw it with Jewish space lasers. And, it's really become a danger, a fundamental danger, not just to our national security, but to our civilization worldwide, these negative bot accounts, because they're effectively the exact same paper propaganda rhetoric that Germany was throwing onto France out of airplanes, saying that Hitler's already won the war before the war had even finished. Where
that's the
people in
perfect
France were
comparison.
believing it, but it's so much more widespread and so much more dangerous now because of the internet and because of the
and it's just on an infinite loop.
It is.
Why do you think they're
worse? Because they're sounding more and more human as time has gone on. Usually you can easily kind of, even with us when we first started, we could figure out who the bots were in our comments.
Right.
It's getting harder now.
Yeah.
I think an independent study said that there was something like 52% of all the accounts on all platforms are AI chatbots now.
Yeah.
So you may be in the comments and you may be thinking that Patriot 17 with a bald eagle on his profile picture is your MAGA neighbor next door, but it's actually a robot. And you know what? Any social media, because they're going to hate me when I introduce a lot of bots, because that will dramatically impact their platform's value by taking away half of their total user base. And they will argue. And they will argue, these platforms will argue that it's infringing upon their First Amendment freedom of speech rights, to which I reply, robots have no freedom of speech rights.
He's discriminating against robots.
That's
the
why
Constitution literally states all persons, not robots, not software, not AI.
No,
I wouldn't put it past them to try to make an amendment. The Constitution includes robots
over my dead body. But when it comes to my faith, churches, especially mega churches, if you are, I do believe in freedom of religion. I think that's been weaponized too for the wealthy and the corrupt to be able to profit off the system. But I believe we could make this so fair so that it's not just a broad sweeping tax all the church things, because there's congregations of like 5 to 10 people in Louisiana,
Right.
you know, a little tiny steeple with a black preacher and his congregation. That's not a mega church. That's not
Right.
profiting. That has a yearly budget of maybe $2,500. So should they have to pay taxes now? So I don't think they should, but we can make it easier by putting a law in place that says, like, if your income
Yep.
is XYZ% more than you know your taxes would be, then you lose your tax exempt status.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Joel
pretty simple math. If you're making yearly, you know, a certain percentage, 60, 70, 80% more than what your tax would be, then you should be taxed.
Pay up.
That's
that
just
simple.
so easy. It's
Because
so
you're just a
simple.
for-profit company at that point. It
Mhm.
has nothing to do with being a religious institution. You are literally creating a product. Your product is entertainment. Look at some of these Christmas
The
scenes.
Christmas, them on
With the
stilts and
high-flying wires and
flying through the
trapeze
air.
artists. And I mean, it's like Cirque du Soleil. Cirque
It
du
is.
Soleil has to pay taxes for operating. Why aren't these churches? So
Yeah.
It's like what?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's just
it's
freaking.
nuanced. It's nuanced because I do think that some actual Puritans of religious teachings should be tax exempt.
Mhm.
But the ones that are doing it absolutely for their own personal intake and the tremendous net worth of their preachers and pastors, like Joel Osteen, they need to be taxed absolutely, because that is income
Yeah.
at that point. That is not a tithing or tithing. That is income.
Yeah. He blocked me on TikTok for saying that.
He blocked me as well when I called him out. When I called him out for, and I wear it like a badge of honor. Joel Osteen blocked me for calling him out for locking
Mhm.
his church on Hurricane Harvey victims,
Mhm.
which, kind of segueing back to my congressional run, ties into Virginia Fox, because during Hurricane Helene, there were people fleeing for their lives down the mountainside, trying to use a frontage road to escape for their lives, that butted up next to Virginia Fox's property, and she locked the gate on them and wouldn't let them use it. Her own voting constituents, and then
How
lied
did that
about
not
it.
make headline news?
It was in I think it was the Charlotte Observer. And then she lied about it and said, well, she doesn't have ownership of that road. So the owner of the road had to come out and debunk her and say, yes, I'm the owner, but I gave the Fox family permission, especially in case of emergency, to grant access to the road. And then she just did what they always do and just ignore it and just don't have no further comment. And then the story dies out. And then there's some atrocious story tomorrow. But this is literally a representative that, because her own constituents, like me, the peasants, couldn't come within eyeshot of her property, fleeing for their lives, locked the road on them. And they were most likely, in my gerrymandered district, Virginia Fox supporters, Republican voters.
Wow.
She doesn't care. She doesn't care if she got your vote. They think that they are high up and above us all. And this is why I want to go in. I joke with some of my veteran buddies, and I say I'm presumably I'm going to have to wear body armor when I walk through the halls of Congress, because I'm going to call them all out. I'm not going to follow any of this decorum bullshit. I'm going to call them out to their face.
Yes, thank you. I've been waiting for somebody to say that for months.
Mitch McConnell's going to have a pep in his step.
You know, when reporters are following them into Congress and they hurriedly walk away and get in their secret congressperson's only elevator? Well, guess what? I'm going to be in that fucking elevator and I'm going to keep going.
Just have the meta glasses on at all times.
Thank you.
No, these people think that they are entitled to a privileged private life, and I'm here to tell them,
service.
Damn hell you are not. I'm going to call you out.
No, we're getting back to the grassroots.
No safe space or your little private smoking and brandy lounge under the halls of Congress. I'm going to call out every single one of your little backdoor meetings.
And he's going to do just like Jesus and flip tables.
Oh, man.
They're going to put their interns in the hallway and be like, see if you see him. Is he in today? See if he's in the hallway.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to exercise some restraint
Hmm.
because I grew up brawling, and there's some of these people.
Yeah.
Some of the shit that comes out of their mouths, man. They better know who they're talking to when they open their mouth up to me.
Yeah, I think that
We
it's
will
going to be
spew the
a
propaganda for you. He
rude
didn't do anything
awakening
wrong.
for them. If we get that blue sweep that we want, they are obviously in for a rude awakening to not have the majority anymore, but they are in a rude awakening if a lot of these grassroots candidates win, because they want to bring this back to grassroots. We are
Yeah.
public servants of our people, and we don't play that game. We see you trading stocks on the floor. It's on site. It's, you're getting called out. And I think that that's where we have to get back to. And so a lot of them are going to last minute be running for the hills.
Exactly.
Still are.
They
Still
already are.
So when you're chasing down these fools, what are your top 3 priorities going to be while you're in there?
There are so many backroom closed door meetings that are happening between both parties. Little side hustle deals, little manila envelopes being slid under the table. Hey, can you do this little favor for me? It's like the mob. It really has become disgusting in Congress. I'm going to call them all out. I'm going to catch them in 4K. Yeah. Open your mouth
Accountability
around
time.
me. And my campaign manager says, don't say that. I'm like, you know what? These
We
people
want
are
to hear it.
no, but these members of Congress are so cocky. The audacity of them. You could literally tell them to your face. On the day I win my election, I could literally have a national press tour and say, I'm going to have hidden mics and hidden cameras, and I'm going to call you all out, and they'll forget about it tomorrow because they are so
Yep.
disgustingly comfortable in the actual swamp of corruption that they participate in.
Mhm.
So I am going to call them all out. I am going to catch them all on camera. I
Hell
am
yeah.
going to release it all to the public because it is the people's house. There should not be a single closed door safe space
Yep.
for these people in the Capitol and in the congressional office buildings. It has literally, I mean, George Carlin's words are so apt and
Yeah.
so sadly accurate, where he says it's a club and you ain't in it. These
Yeah.
people have twisted and corrupted the Constitution and the people's house to bend to their will and their own greed and corruption. So that is my first agenda, because until we get the corruption called out and force these people to resign and leave in masses, nothing will really be able to be accomplished.
Mhm.
I want healthcare for all. I want universal healthcare. I want affordable housing that is not just affordable, but sustainable. I want things like progressive scales, loan scales, progressive tax rates, things of this nature, where it's like, hey, guess what? We're apparently on a 30% tax rate, but the richest of the rich are on a 7 to 8% tax rate. What the fuck is up with that? Pardon my French, but
You're good.
I want things fair for the American people across the board. So I actually have a 2-term plan because I don't have any intention of becoming a career politician. I want to get in, fuck things up, and get out. Plain and
That's how it
simple.
should be. That is
I
how
wanna-
it should be.
I want to get in, break this status quo system. I want to break their safety net to be able to make room for other generations to come in and actually implement laws that will help our nation. So I figure I have an ambitious 4-year plan, 2 terms. First term, fucking things up. Just really breaking it. I want to be the monkey wrench just thrown in there and
Hell
just
yeah.
fucking everything up.
Sledgehammer.
And the second term, instituting long-term solutions. I'll obviously try to implement those the first term as well, but nothing's going to happen because of these levels of corruption that are so just the Ponzi schemes and the pyramid schemes are so deep over there. But yeah, second term, I want to try to implement these long-term solutions. And my solutions, if you go to Clayton, the number 4nc.com/issues, you'll see they're not partisan. They're not party geared. They're long-term solutions so that it doesn't matter who the majority party in power is. And unfortunately, we don't have any laws that are coming out today that are nonpartisan. They always have to be one side or the other, and not a damn thing is getting done. So what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
We need nonpartisan laws. We actually need an accountable budget. We need to stop the bleed that is currently happening from the tippity top through from the executive branch to the legislative branch, all the way through the Supreme Court and the judicial branch. The amount of corruption is literally bleeding us out and suffocating us simultaneously.
Yep.
And it has to be fixed. It has to be called out. So that's why I joke that I'll have to wear body armor in the halls of Congress, because I honestly don't know which side of the aisle will try to take the shot at me.
Both. You're going to go in there and all the heads are going to turn on both sides. Or be like, oh, man.
I volunteer as terrorist tribute, and for anyone who does pull that 7 pounds of pressure, I know my stuff. You better not miss.
Yeah, Hakeem. Devin is hoping Hakeem Jeffries tries it with you.
Yeah, that's it. Just let me in there. I'll handle that one.
Yeah.
I'll get that one done for you.
You know, if it's my time, it's my time. I don't have any kind of death wish, but I would proudly sacrifice my life if it meant calling out this bullshit and giving the American public a fair fighting chance for once. But yeah, I'll say again,
there we go.
Y'all better not miss.
Yeah. And in order for you to get there, people have to go out and vote. So we have been asking everyone this question as well. Obviously, after the most recent presidential election, a lot of people are feeling like their vote does not matter. They think the system's corrupt. They don't want to buy into it anymore. And so if you were out and about in your district and somebody said they weren't thinking about voting anymore, what would you say to them?
I'm actually, North Carolina actually has a pretty good turnout. I know that is a problem that is growing, that people keep on saying, especially some of the very, very far leftist community are saying your vote doesn't matter. And it's almost like they're encouraging people.
Yes, it's almost as if.
Don't get us started.
Which is completely antithetical to your supposed core principles. So I don't know why you would, say like, we need to fix this, we need to fix this, we need to fix this, but don't vote to try to fix it. I mean, I do understand where a lot of them come from, where they're seeing the pattern of how things have been, but that doesn't mean that there isn't still hope of new upcomers, especially new younger generations that are candidates today, that will not follow the game, will not play the game as it's been played. So yeah, you have to vote. You have to participate. Make sure that you're registered to vote, because for far too long, there has been purging of voter rolls where a particular party doesn't want another party to be registered to vote. So always periodically check. Don't just check just before the election, but periodically check. I recommend people check like every other month if they are still registered, so that they have ample time to be able to go and fix it. And you know what? If you're a Republican, not a MAGA, because MAGA are the actual rhinos, but if you're a Republican, register to vote as a Republican. I am in a ruby red district, and I have always said, even before I was running, that if you're a Republican, I'll welcome you to my table. We may still disagree about damn near everything, but I'll still have mutual respect for you as an American. MAGA is not that.
Yeah.
MAGA is absolutism. MAGA is all or nothing. MAGA are the actual rhinos. Tell me, in Donald Trump's first term or Donald Trump's current term today, what he has done, what the Republican majority in Congress has done that is fiscally conservative. Tell me, where is the limited big government? Tell me, what is he doing that's abiding by the Constitution? And please, for the love of God, show me where anything Donald Trump is doing is Christian or Christ-like. So all the supposed core fundamental principles of traditional Republicans, MAGA ain't that. So that's why I say MAGA are the actual rhinos. I welcome to my dinner table traditional Republicans. We can have civil discourse, and we can agree to disagree about things, or we can share our varying opinions and try to convince the other person of why we should support one side or the other. I'm a stubborn mule. I'm American, so good luck with that. I will probably not concede, but there's still varying points to listen to and be respectful about and hear out. If your viewpoints are oppressive as others, I'll shoot you straight down.
Yeah.
You know what? As a Christian, my faith mandates me that oppression is not tolerated.
Mandates.
I don't care who you're oppressing. It's not tolerated.
Yeah.
But yeah, This whole MAGA movement is a psyop. It's a lie. It's a grift. It's a con. Nothing on what he campaigned on his populist views he's doing. Donald Trump is doing.
No.
So
He didn't
I'm
even
pretty,
secure the border in his first term, guys.
you know,
That was the number one thing he said he was going to do.
and end the war in Ukraine on
Mhm.
day one, and now he's just taking Putin's word for it and says Putin says Russia wants to help Ukraine. It's like, what the
Mhm.
fuck are, like, what upside down is this?
It's happening in
So
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
and
Two
then
weeks,
and then what
guys.
about the e-files? You know,
Mhm.
it's just
They don't
it's
exist, apparently.
crazy. Marjorie Taylor Greene being reported that Donald Trump was telling her that if she pursues releasing him,
Yeah.
that it's going to hurt his friends. And it's just like, wow, the POTUS really is a pedo. This
Mhm.
is where we're at today. This is insane. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's just, I think, and we are seeing large amounts of MAGA leave MAGA and revert back to being traditional Republicans.
Yep.
And I posted a couple of posts to my friend Morgan where she was having a good
Yeah,
little
I saw
call
that.
in
Yep.
to the left-sided community of being like, hey, man, I know we're all angry, but just going on the instant attack on them isn't going to help them deconstruct and leave MAGA. It's actually going to have a reverse effect and just push them back into it. It's not a forgive and forget campaign, but it's just
No.
there's
Get
nothing
in the back
wrong.
seat. Don't talk. Get in the back seat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if someone says to you, I was MAGA, I voted for Trump 3 times and I regret it and I'll never do it again, you don't have to fucking jump on them and attack them. You can simply say,
I hope you don't.
All right,
and then
because
that's it.
I
And
was
then that's
watching it
it.
this morning and I was like, he's right. It's like, damn it.
Just smile and nod. And man, I was getting some
Mhm.
hate on that video I duetted of Morgan's where
Mhm.
because understandably a lot of people are we've been dealing with this shit for 10 years. A
Yeah.
lot of people are
Yeah.
angry.
It took selfish reasons. I think that's what people are upset about is that
Yeah.
for a lot of
Yeah.
reasons, it was, well, this happened to me personally, so now I'm no longer MAGA, and people weren't thinking about their
Oh no,
neighbors.
yeah, no, we're
you
seeing
know?
a lot of that. We are seeing a
Yeah.
lot of that.
But I
So
agree with you that it doesn't help because when you do that, sometimes they're like, well, never mind, I'm going to go back to MAGA because they at
Yeah.
least liked me and appreciated me. You guys don't, you don't
Whether-
accept me with open arms.
whether we like it or not, there's a significant amount of our population, nowhere near the majority, but a significant part of our population that are or were MAGA.
Mhm.
They're not going anywhere. They are going to be here. They're going to shop at your local stores. They're going to drop off their kids in carpool. They are part of the community. So do we really want to just hate every single day, or do we want to put an end to this MAGA shit and move on? We can continue to educate people. And I was very, very, in my follow-up video on that, I was very, very specific where I said, look, this is not justifying or excusing any form of racism or bigotry or intolerance. Fuck those people. I don't give a shit what you do or how you react to those people. But just like during COVID and the anti-vax stuff, not all MAGA were anti-vaxxers,
Yeah.
but all anti-vaxxers were MAGA.
Yeah.
But just like now, not all MAGA are racists, but all racists are MAGA.
Mhm.
So it's a nuanced situation. I
Yeah.
think people need to be aware of that. There are people that live under the guise of ignorance is bliss that, should be aware of what Donald Trump is doing and what his administration is doing and really aren't. They tuned out the day after the vote.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people's very valid expression of it's been 10 years. They should have known by now. How can you just how can they justify it and said, well, I didn't know? There is actually a substantial amount of population that isn't on social media, that isn't tuned in to current events every single day and going through the mind-numbing pain in the ass that all of us have to go through by
Fox.
literally
Just Fox
Just Fox.
News on
No,
repeat
literally.
all
That's
day.
it.
Literally. And Fox, it's not just what Fox is. A lot of people aren't talking about this, but it's not just what Fox is broadcasting out and showing, but it's also what they're not.
Mm.
There's a big portion of what Fox is not putting out there. And that omission is just as powerful as what
Yeah.
they are feeding their watcher base.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. Well, we're at the fun portion now.
What's that?
The
We're at the fun portion
portion.
now. Yeah.
We'll ask some
So,
fun questions, some lighthearted
yeah.
stuff.
So first one, if you're running for president, who's your dream VP, living or dead?
Wait, say that again?
if you're running for president, who's your dream VP, living or dead? Anyone. Doesn't even have to be a politician.
That's it. That's. I mean, that's impossible because a lot of people comment me for president, and I've said too many times that I could count. I don't ever want that job. I will never want that job. But AOC, without a doubt. But see, I don't even want that. I would rather be her
VP
or VP.
Right?
Yeah, I think I could accomplish a lot more for her in her presidency as the VP rather than her being the VP.
Mhm.
So, but AOC,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, look, I'm a single guy. I know she's already met the love of her life, that redheaded
just,
guy. I
"What?"
know my shot is come and gone, but AOC, I'm just saying, it will be a pleasure and honor to work with someone as smart, as strong, as courageous, and as beautiful as you. But beauty
Mhm.
has nothing to do with it. She's just a powerhouse.
She
She
is.
really
She's just
is.
awesome.
She is.
She has normalized, and I love seeing this. I saw this from her very first term, but she has made it mainstream today. But
Yeah.
from her first term, she has normalized being a politician that is actually genuine and authentic,
A
and
regular person.
not just saying pre-scripted bullshit.
Yep.
And we're seeing even people on the blue side of things like Adam Schiff or Swalwell or Tallarico, where they're getting into this, they're almost pretending to be genuine and authentic by repeating
Yes.
by repeating the same line on
Mhm.
every single, like it's a book tour on their
Yes.
campaign.
Yes.
You know, Tallarico, I posted when he put out that line that said, like, it's not that we can't afford to feed the poor, we just can't satisfy the
Mhm.
rich. Now I've
Mhm.
heard him say that at like 8 different locations
Yeah.
verbatim.
He's like, this
And
one's good.
it's like
Finally,
the
somebody
first
else
time
clocked it.
was authentic and genuine. Now
And
it
then
just
it's
sounds
too
like
much.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Or Adam Schiff dropping the F word for the first time ever in his tightwad little life.
Him and Swalwell. I'm like, what's
Or
your
Schumer.
policy? I
Or
don't care
Schumer.
that you're saying fuck. I don't care that you say
Yeah,
fuck. I don't care.
And Swalwell saying fuck all of a sudden because,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just like, guys, like,
Be
this is what
yourself.
this is what I really, and Jasmine Crockett, this is what I really appreciate about people like Jasmine Crockett and AOC is that they are normalizing being authentic and being genuine. But I'm gonna for Swalwell or Schiff or Schumer or any of y'all that happen to see this, the people can see through the pretending to be authentic bullshit.
It's
Straight up.
weird.
Yeah.
It's
We
weird
can
as
see
fuck.
through it. We can also see where you're
Yeah.
taking your money. So then when you
I
say
mean,
things
I love
that
Harris,
line up.
but Harris was starting to do the same thing too on her book tour, where she it was almost like a timed cheer point where a protester would come in and speak about Gaza, and then she would get angry and say, "Well, you know what? I'm not the president." And this happened not just at the one event, but it happened almost on every single event where it was
They're
almost
following
like,
her.
holy
the
shit, is this whole thing
feeding
scripted?
you. It's
Mhm.
very DNC. Like, oh, the DNC told me to
Yeah.
keep saying this, so I'm going to keep
Yeah.
saying it
Mhm.
because it gets
Yeah.
people riled up.
Just
You know,
because something goes
Gets 'em
viral
going.
once, you don't do the same gag every single time.
no,
Okay.
no. But
That's
I
why we
do
need the
like that they have
grassroots.
also normalized calling out their, their Republican GOP
Yeah.
reps. The amount of clapbacks that we've gotten, I mean, we've really been fed this year online of, just calling it like it is. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
We try too hard to be speak eloquently and
Decorum.
then nobody decorum this and decorum that. And it's like sometimes you just have to look over and go, what did you just say? Like,
Yeah. Decorum's dead. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yes.
It started with people like Marjorie Taylor Greene
Yep.
screaming, hooting, and hollering, wearing a $50,000 white fur jacket
Yeah.
at the State of the Union with Biden. And honestly, it had been dying since before that with Ted
Yeah.
Cruz filibustering with
Yeah.
green eggs and ham.
Yep.
So if you're on the take, if you're corrupt, you're complicit, you're aiding and abetting the enemy, both home and abroad, because there are enemies at home.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm not going to kiss your ass and call you the gentlewoman from here or the gentleman from there.
Mhm.
I'm going to say this fucking ass clown out over here to my right is ripping off the public.
Yes. Just
And they can
just
say,
for clarification,
he's-
this is what you just meant, right?
Bang the gavel and say, you're out of order, sir. No, you're out of order, sir.
Mhm.
You're 92 years
I want
Why
his
are you
words
here
struck
right
down.
now? Do you realize that in your district there are gentlemen the same age as you as door greeters at Walmart? What the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Oh, I would
And
love
we'll
to see
be-
the congressional hearings where the cabinet members aren't answering the question with you. Because
If you know what, I will
Mhm.
proudly wear censures as badges of honor around my neck.
Yeah.
And
I want his
honestly,
words struck down.
if your representative hasn't been censured, are they really speaking for you anymore?
Yeah, because at what point is it just, yeah, at what point? It's kind of like when you do something at school and you're like, I get sent to the principal's office, but you're like, no, they deserve to be told that. I will take my suspension, hand it over.
I do not condone violence, but I will beat the shit out of somebody in self-defense.
Yeah. Watch him in the hallways.
I love it. I'm here for it.
We have this funny game. It's like, which evil politician said this evil quote? But we've kind of mixed it up. So this is actually a couple of these are quotes that have been said in the past that are very much contradicting what they are saying now. So it's pretty much, what did this evil politician say when they maybe weren't evil? I know.
Okay.
Well,
Like this one. So I'll read you the quote and it'll be between two people and you'll get to pick who you believe said that. So the first quote is, I don't go through life judging others or diminishing them in any way. Who said that? Mike Johnson or Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
It was Mike Johnson.
Oh, no
Mike
shit?
Johnson does not go through his life judging others
Wow.
or diminishing them in,
yeah, totally.
in
Totally.
any other way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This is fun. You got another one?
Yes. Okay, this next quote is, regularly used to tell people that the fastest way to move up in government is to just screw up. And the bigger the screw up, the bigger the promotion. Who said that? Tulsi Gabbard or Kash Patel?
That's tough. I'm going to say Kash Patel.
You're correct. It is Kash Patel, and he is proving that to this day.
Yeah.
Daily.
That sounds like something he would say on his stupid podcast. On his
He had to lay the groundwork. He was like, guys, I'm going to screw up a lot.
Yeah.
So I just need to lay this out. That's why I'm in this spot.
You see, if it was Tulsi Gabbard, that whole statement would have been in Russian.
Yes, it's true. That's true. That's true. She never lets them know her next move. This next one, the quote reads, it's really American to avoid paying taxes legally. Who said that? Lindsey Graham or Virginia Fox?
I think this is a trick question. I want to say Virginia Fox, but I think it's Lindsey Graham.
You're correct. It was a trick question. It is Lindsey Graham.
He wasn't tricked.
That definitely sounds like something a cheap ass ladybug would say.
Just legally make sure you don't pay your taxes.
Right.
Yes. All right.
And
Next.
I think Donald Trump actually repeated that same sentiment on the campaign trail.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. All right. Next we have, the quote reads, Mr. Trump is unfit for our nation's highest office. Who said that? J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio?
I believe that was Secretary of State Rubio.
It was J.D. Vance when he was in his Never Trump Guy.
I'm a Never
Trump guy.
Never Trump guy. That was a fun era, right? Crazy the switch up so quickly. Definitely wasn't money.
I don't know what Trump or Putin or whoever has something on little Marco Rubio, but that guy looks so sad.
It's written all over his face.
Yeah.
Man, he looks so fucking beat up and depressed, man. He's just like, my life is over.
He's like, this is it, guys.
It was the Vanity Fair shoot.
He's also not an idiot. He is not an idiot, but he has grown up and he has gotten himself into debt after debt after debt after debt. So he definitely... Trump has something on him, some kind of compromise, because he literally looks like he's blinking for help, like a held hostage. All right, and the last one, the quote reads, part of being a winner is knowing when enough is enough. Sometimes you have to give up the fight and walk away and move on to something that's more productive. Who said that? Elon Musk or Donald Trump?
I'm thinking.
It's tough because neither of them would say that.
Neither of them you would think would say that.
I believe that was Elon Musk when he was talking about leaving this was right before he started the America first pack or whatever. He was trying to compete against the Republican Party. I believe that was Elon Musk. Am I right?
No, it was
Donald
Donald
Trump?
Trump.
Well, I mean, fucking Donald Trump gives up on everything.
We'll check that. I was like, is this right?
Quintuple check.
Yeah, I
It's
really
like he
thought that
said
was
that?
Elon. I really
It is
thought that
quite
was Elon.
literally which evil person said this
Mhm. I
evil
know.
thing. And we've
Who
said
said the
time
most
and time and
unlikely thing?
again, they've all probably said it because they heard the first one say it and they
Yeah.
were like,
Mhm.
oh, like Elon was
That's,
probably
that's
like,
all they do is
Yeah.
Sounds
plagiarize
good.
each other. I mean, even Melania Trump plagiarized from Michelle Obama with the whole
Oh, word for
be
word.
best
yes,
shit
word for
on
word.
that, you know?
Word for word.
Word for word.
Not a single
They,
change.
they literally do not have a unique personality, not a
Never
single
had a unique
fragment of
thought.
a unique thought or unique personality amongst
Mm-mm.
all of them.
It would involve having a personality in
Yeah,
order to
yeah.
have unique thoughts.
Not
and they
an
don't
original
have
thought
that.
over there.
Mm-mm.
Not a
Yeah,
one.
it's like out of all the presidential plaques and Donald Trump's weird ramblings
His
underneath them,
his
out of all the
Yelp
presidents.
reviews.
Now this is the really funny part. Even though Trump was like bagging on Biden and Obama the most, out of all the presidents, the name that is mentioned the most is Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mhm.
Trump couldn't shut the fuck up about him. He just kept going and going and going and going.
Biden derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
BDS.
No, it is Trump derangement syndrome. The TDS is
Is
real.
real.
Trump
It's
just
just
flipped
not
it
the way you
and
think
got his
it is.
to believe
Bree's
that it's
gonna
all of
disagree
us.
with you on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true because of the
She's gonna
healthcare
call you up
space.
after this airs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bree
Like,
doesn't
David.
like it being called the syndrome,
No.
and I get
Like,
that. That's
she's gonna say,
valid.
what'd you say to my friends?
She's like, excuse me?
I love Bree, as you know. She's good people.
Oh yeah,
She
yeah,
is. She's one
great.
of our faves.
All right. So, final question: what is your hidden gem in North Carolina? / where are you taking us when
If
we
we come
out?
visit after
'Cause-
you win.
Yeah.
When we do
You
our
know
world
what?
our
So
Yeah.
District 5 is from Boone to Greensboro and then up north to Mount Airy. My favorite place throughout North Carolina has got to be Blowing Rock. Just before Boone. It's like one of the most beautiful, serenic mountain scenes you'll ever see in your life. But there's all sorts of just amazing, phenomenal spots in North Carolina. You know that North Carolina is the only state that has a backwards flowing river in the United States, where it
Wow.
actually flows south to north instead of north to south.
Did not know that.
Yeah, there's so many different. It was the last state to join the Confederacy. I mean,
I did know that.
Not-
Yes.
great that they still joined the Confederacy, but
That's
it
the
was
badge
the
of
last
honor
state.
they wear. We
But
joined
they
it
were
last,
right on that
okay?
fence. They were like, should we? Should we
Oh.
not?
And that's on peer pressure.
That was on peer pressure. But I mean, look what came out of it. The Confederates on their hands and knees,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
crawling through the mud, begging for their lives,
Yep.
as
Mhm.
they should have. And Michael Jordan.
Hey.
I'm happy with the way things turned out. So
Hey,
I love this
Okay.
state. Even being an adopted son, there's still more for me to learn. There's a million places I'm sure native North Carolinians will be able to show me their secret little gems. So
mm-hmm.
I hope to learn more.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Well, looks
All
like we
right.
got a tour on our hands.
Yeah, we'll
with
be
all of
there.
our
A lot
friends
of
win.
it, it's the South.
I know, yeah. Most of the people we're interviewing are in the South. So
Well, that what was that Matlock guy, the actor Andy Griffith show.
Mm. Really? I used to watch that.
Wow.
Nick at Night.
Yeah,
like a night. Yeah.
with the whistling scene that all
Uh-huh.
comes from North
That
Carolina.
was my jam.
Yeah, North Carolina's got a lot to offer, and being a California guy that grew up surfing and snowboarding, we've got that ability here too because we've got the mountains and we've got the coast here.
I saw the board in the back. I saw the longboard.
Yeah, I
clocked
don't
that
have, but I got my longboard back there.
Yeah.
I can't
I
really
was
see
like-
it that well, but it's
I
hidden
saw it
back. There
earlier.
is.
I was like, "There's the
There it
Cali, and
is.
there it is."
Yeah. So, we got to have a little bit of fun in life.
Yeah, I like that.
So it seems like when we're going to North Carolina, we're actually going to touch grass. We're
Literally.
literally going to touch grass when we go there.
Yeah, we need to.
A lot healthier for the mind going fishing or going to the beach or going hiking or touching
Mhm.
grass than the shit that we're all being put through every single day and
Yeah.
being told who to hate 24
Yes.
hours a day.
24.
I think the
Arguing with
general public
bots.
is really getting to a point where we are, regardless how you're registered to vote, people are getting really fed up with being over inundated and being told who to hate of our fellow countrymen
exhausting.
and women
Yeah.
every single day.
It's
It is
exhausting
absolutely
waking up to a
exhausting.
fresh new hell every single day. It's exhausting.
Right?
Every minute of every day, it cannot always be breaking news. It just can't. Our brains cannot take it.
Well, buckle up, because I believe Trump just attacked a land facility in Venezuela. So we're just getting
Here we
started.
go.
Great. So we're
Welcome to
just
2026,
playing
guys.
But
That
no
is
new
Russian
wars.
roulette.
no
No
new
new
war
wars, right?
president,
Yeah.
but we
Yeah.
have the Department of War.
The
No new
Nobel
wars,
Peace
but there's
Blue-Lusional.
three.
There's 3. So we got to make sure we are locked in and we are focused on the big picture this year, which is the sweep that we all need. Again, it doesn't have to be a blue sweep per se, but it needs to be a blue policy sweep. Okay, the mission needs to be to get MAGA out of politics in all ways, shape, or form. So this is the year, and everybody needs to lock in. Special elections can start as early as February for people like Marjorie Taylor Greene who are leaving office, and we're going to see more people do it. You need to be, like David said, checking your registration every month. You need to be checking
Tomorrow.
for special elections that are coming up, because they love to not tell you about those. And tell you the wrong days and the wrong times and the wrong poll locations. So you need to be your own advocate this year, and you need to find sources for that information that you trust, and make sure you're registered. That is the number one thing, and know your voting rights going into this year. David, we want to thank you so much for taking time to come. I know that this is going to be a crazy year, and we've already watched your campaign journey and your content journey so far, and we know that this is just going to be really great. And running as an independent, we are so excited to see what people on both sides of the aisle have to say and going and showing up to vote for you. Before you go, please go ahead and just plug your website, where people could donate if they have any extra money, volunteer, and your socials. Just go ahead, a shameless plug.
Sure. No, I appreciate it. Thank you both so much for having me on. This was a lot of fun, especially that last questioning part.
Yeah.
So my website is Clayton, the number 4nc.com. You can donate officially to campaign through there. If you want to get in touch with my campaign manager, if you're local to North Carolina, whether you're in the district or not, and you want to volunteer, you can contact my campaign manager at cm.clayton, the number 4nc at gmail.com. And then, of course, on all the social medias, you can find me at Empathy Tour or Official Empathy Tour. I have 2 accounts on TikTok. Empathy Tour is my main one. Official Empathy Tour, and the for that one is David Empathy Tour Clayton. Be very careful, because there's a lot of fake, clone, and imposter accounts out there.
They message us frequently.
I do not send DMs to followers. So if there's an account claiming to be me saying your DM, it is not me. So please be safe and secure. And then if you want to just support my content directly, you can go to direct.me/empathy tour. And I've got all the ways under that. And I appreciate the time and I appreciate the opportunity.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming on, and thank everybody for listening in every single week. We are doing interviews every week leading up to November midterms. So make sure you're coming in and you're looking for your candidate. And if you haven't seen your candidate, reach out and let us know, because we are booked up through April. People are running, and they are running in droves. So we need to get as many people on. Grassroots, no APAC money, and we're really excited. So we will see you guys next week for another interview. David, again, thank you so much for coming on. Have a great
Thank you.
night, everyone.
Thank you so
Bye.